Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the channel. Let me go ahead and get the colors running down below, and let me go ahead and just start to load this brush up right here, and I'll kind of explain everything as I go. I'm using some Vandyke Brown right here, and the colors I'm using are 1980 Gamblin. And let me go ahead and just load up. I'm just going to go ahead and just start using this and just kind of get a little bit of this color in here, and maybe a little bit like that. I did this, I think, on the last painting, so just want a little bit of this. So this Vandyke Brown is a little bit on the grayer side with Gamblin. So if you have more of a chocolatey type of brown, if you add a little bit of black to it and stuff like that, it should kind of gray it out. But I'm just going to go like that. And I have an 18 by 24 inch canvas, and of course it does have some Bob Ross white medium on it. And other than that, it's all slick and ready to rock and roll, and I'm just going to come in and just do something like that. Let me put this guy down, and I'm just going to go ahead and just grab a, just going to grab a 2-inch brush, and I'm just going to come in and just go like this real quick, this nice little X's, and if you don't have a lot of paint, that's the thing. Don't make sure you don't have too much paint, okay? And you just come in and just do these nice little X's, and everything gets nice and blended out, as you can tell. There we go. And maybe I'll just darken that corner just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. There we go. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a touch of that black. There we go. And I'll just come in and do something like that. Put that down. Grab that 2-inch, and there we go. And just blend that out nice. And there we go. Very nice. Oops, a little hair. There we go. And I'll put that down. I'll just go ahead and grab another 1-inch brush, or excuse me, another fan brush. A fan brush. I'm going to go ahead and just load up real quick. Let's get a nice little load. And I'm just going to come in and I'm just rubbing the side. You can do circles and stuff like that. I just want to rub in the side a little bit and just get a little bit of some clouds in there. Just a little bit of some clouds. Maybe we'll do something like that. Come in. Get a little bit more of this white, and then maybe right here. Same thing. I'm just rubbing up and down with the corner of the brush. I don't really care about the bottom. It's just the top there. You get all your definition. There you go. There we go. Something like that. Go ahead. I'm just going to use this brush, and I'm actually today just going to very softly. I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of push these clouds in. Maybe fluff it a little bit more. There we go. I know you can barely see it, but when I start to add some mountains to it, some darker stuff, things will definitely start to pop out. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that down. I'm going to grab my palette knife. I'm going to go into just some straight Mars blocks. Just push them down. Get yourself a nice little roll like so. And we're going to come in, and we'll just come in and just try to put ourselves a nice little mountain. There we go. Make sure whatever you grab, you scrape out. Go ahead and grab a little bit more. Maybe we'll do something like that. There we go. And scrape, scrape, scrape. Always scrape. Always scrape. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. So a little bit more. Something like so. Like that. Just smush that in there. Get off what you can get off. Wipe your knife. Grab yourself a paper towel and just come in and just get what you missed. There we go. Something like so. There we go. There we go. maybe just like that. Maybe pull it down a little bit more. Yeah, maybe. There we go. There we go. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to use that same. Um, Actually, let me use something else. Just because I have a little bit of white paint. I'm just going to go ahead and use a little 1-inch brush. I'm just going to come in and just grab a little bit, just a little bit extra of this paint. And I'm just grabbing it so I can come over here and maybe put in something a little bit further in the distance. There we go. Sneaky, huh? You just grab a little bit of paint. You don't need much, and you just come over and do this. And I'm gonna very softly just go like this so it just blends it. So it's way, 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 way in the distance. There. There we go. I think that's nice. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna grab my palette knife. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of some white. Put it right here, and a little bit of black. I want a very, very kind of a dark gray, something like that. Very close to that. Okay. Very close to that. Maybe. I think that's good. And we'll just come in and just start to highlight a little bit. So just remember, you just touch and kind of pull down. And I just want some of this nice gray in here for right now. And I'm just going to come in and just, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just barely touching and just there. Just getting some of this color in there, okay? I'm going to go ahead and just go with a little bit of some straight, just a little roll, okay, of some of my Mars Black. I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to start to, there, put in some nice dark color there, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then we're going to go back and just highlight. So I'm basically putting in all my shadows right now, and then we'll go back and just highlight, okay? So there we go. Remember, just pull your paint down, get yourself a nice roll. Come in, you barely touch, and just let it slide and glide. Kind of like skipping a rock on a lake or a pond. Just let it bounce and graze across, okay? There we go. I'm just going to do something like this, and there. Maybe a little bit more over this way. There. Okay? Just back and forth, okay? The angles are this way and that way, okay? You got to kind of think a little bit three-dimensionally, and then you can get your different angles and things will pop out, okay? Takes a little bit, but you just kind of get used to it. Eventually, you'll start to see things just start to kind of do its thing, okay? Yeah, and I'm just going to come in just a little bit more here. Just a little bit more. There you go. Good. Nice little idea. Nice little idea. I mean, there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that knife is clean. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull some of this white. Let me just scoop some, smush it down, get yourself a nice roll. And you're going to come in and we're just going to start to just have some fun. I think tonight or today I'm going to leave, because it's tonight for me, but it might be today where you're at. But I'm going to leave the tops. I'm just going to just highlight using the palette knife, obviously, and just highlight in the bottom here. Kind of want like maybe, I don't know, maybe kind of just some snow or glaciers or whatever. Just right down here at the bottom, okay? And you can use both sides. So if you want to play around, you can use the small side and you can come in and you can just start to maneuver, okay? And I'll use a little bit more of that, but you can come in and kind of do different things like that, okay? Maybe, I don't know, maybe this thing, and it goes like that, okay? You can come down, see? So you're not bound to just the one side. You have all these different sides, okay? A lot faster with the bigger side, but you can get a little bit more of your control using the small, okay? So it's up to you. Small, big, big, small, don't matter. There. And see that? I pushed a little too hard. I scooped it right off. So you just come right back, very soft, and just kind of graze it. And you got yourself a wonderful, wonderful little snow peak working here. There. Something like that. There. Just do something like this. Maybe let it pile up a little bit more down here. Got myself a, there we go. Nice good amount. There we go. Just let it kind of, there. And I'll use the small side and just come in and maybe, there we go. A little bit more. Let me clean that knife. Sometimes you get a little too gooped up with your paint, so just clean your knife. And come back, see? You just come in and do stuff like this. Do stuff like that. Maybe there's some peeking still right there. Use that little bit of that small side of the knife, just the small side. You come in and just, yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe just a little bit. I don't know. There we go. Just a little bit, just a little bit more. Just using that small side. And we'll do something like that. There we go. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. I'm just going to kind of soften it a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to come in and just grab a little bit of this black. Just a little bit of that black. I just want to get a little bit dark there. There. Just a little bit dark just behind there. Maybe use the small side of the knife, maybe a little bit behind here. Just something like that. There we go. There we go. Just something like that. Maybe just a couple of spots here, there, and we'll move on to the next thing. As always, I can sit here all day with mountains. They're just very fun. And if you do the little transformer sound, things just seem to work out. I don't know why. Don't know why. There we go. There we go. Maybe a little bit on the small side. Let's come over here. Just there we go. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not going to mess with it. Just kind of leave it how it is. I'm going to go ahead and just use my, I got a blender brush. I'm just going to come over here. Just very, very softly, just down here at the bottom. Just kind of blend that out. There we go. Make sure you go towards the mountain, like the angle of the mountain. There we go. And you can very, very softly, very, very softly. There we go. Try to get some of that. There. There we go. So nice, beautiful, beautiful mountain. With that palette knife, let's go ahead, go right into our Vandyke Brown, straight Vandyke Brown. And I'm going to come in, and I think I'm going to try to add another little mountain or hill or something using the Vandyke Brown. There we go. I'm just coming in like this and same thing. Just like we did with there. Just same thing. Just coming in with some straight Vandyke Brown. We'll do something like that. Maybe we'll have something. Maybe we'll have a little something over here. Something like that. Sorry if my head's in your way. But there we go. And same thing. Just come in. There. There. Clean the knife. Once again, paper towel. Come in. Maybe we'll do something there. Because I got that little, there we go. That little bit of paint right there. And same thing. And same thing here. All right, put that down. Grab your palette knife. I'm just going to go right now into burnt umber. Straight burnt umber. And I'm going to come in and just all the way down. Okay. Come in. There. Okay. Make sure you pull your paint, grab your roll, and you just come in and just graze, okay? And you're going to get all that breaking, okay? All that awesome breaking, just there. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do it something like that. There. All right. I'm going to come in and grab a little bit of this white. Come over here, grab some of that black, and my Vandyke, and grab a little bit more black, and a little bit of my burnt umber. So there. And I'm just going to come in and just back here and a little bit this way and just kind of graze it. And same thing here. There we go. Clean your knife, get yourself a little bit of some white, and we'll just come in just with a little bit of that white. There we go. Same thing. There. And then over here, we'll have it a little bit more this way, a little bit more that way. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that white into this gray that I have. And maybe a little bit more of that brown. Just give it a little bit more of a grayish, something like that. Something like that. Come back with just a little bit more white. There, nice beautiful mountains. Go ahead and clean that. And now I'm going to take a big old chunk of green. I'll put it here, and about the same amount of black. And I'll go ahead and get this mixed up. There we go. Remember, scoop it and smush it down. I'm going to go ahead and let me just put that down for just a second and grab that blender brush. And I'm going to come in. I'll start right here. Start right there. And I just want a little bit of some blending. And same thing right here. And just, like I said, just a little bit of some blending there. It's just like a hake brush, okay? That's all it is. If you want to know what type of brush you can get, it's a hake brush. There we go. And I just don't like the way that, there we go. Blend that back in there. There we go. So we got a nice little kind of misty thing going. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a 2-inch brush. Actually, I think I'll work with a 1-inch brush on this. Might be a little bit easier. So I'll use a 1-inch brush, and I'm just gonna go right into some of my yellow ochre. And I'm just gonna come in and just start to just tap a little bit of this yellow ochre in there. There we go. I'll just come in and same thing. Grab some, tap, 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 and just come in. There. There we go. And maybe just a little bit over here. Just a little bit of that yellow ochre. There. There we go. And maybe just a touch of that black. Yeah, rub out a little bit. There we go. Just want a little bit of that in here. Maybe a little bit of that in here. Here. And I'm gonna go right back into my yellow ochre. I just want a little bit of some shadow in there. It just was a little bit there. There we go. And a little bit over here. Just a little bit. This is the dark side over here. Remember, the kind of highlights are coming this way, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put that down, grab that blender brush again, and go right back into this. There. There we go. Just blend it a little bit, a little bit. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll just use this. I'm gonna go right into right here and some black. Why not? Probably more black. I'm gonna start to just fill this in. There we go. Don't overdo it with this, okay? Don't put too much paint down because we still have a bunch of stuff we got to put on top of here. I'm just trying to get some nice dark color in here, and also give myself a little bit of a line. Let me give myself a bit of a line. Let me grab some of this. And just load up like so, okay? And I'm just gonna come in and kind of just make myself a nice little something like that, okay? At least I have a line that I can follow, okay? And I'm gonna go right back into this brush, and I'm just going to straight black. I kind of want to save my green black that we made, but basically just fill this in. Just get it nice and dark, best as you can. Best as you can. There. Same thing, just go with the black, just like this. All right, that's good enough. All right, I'm gonna put that down, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my fan brush number 3. I'm gonna load up into that green and black mixture that we made, and I'm gonna come in. Got it nice and loaded. I'm gonna go like that. Open up the bristles, and I'm gonna start to kind of put in some trees here, something like that. There. And maybe there. There we go. And just keep hitting it. Just make sure you get it, like, you know, where it's not looking like a fence, you know. And I can come in, I got another, this is my number 6 actually. Come in, do the same thing, open it up, and this will give you some different things as well. See? So you got different brushes, use them. That's my best suggestion. Use your different brushes. But we'll go ahead and just pop in a little something there like that. And there we go. It kind of makes it look like, and maybe there, a little bit darker. It's just not dark enough. There we go. So nice little thing working there. I'm gonna go ahead, put that down, and I'm gonna go ahead and just make some good ones. Load up, come in, and maybe right there. And you just come in and touch, and you can, look, I'll show you, you can do it from this, just using the side and kind of work your way out, okay? And you just keep going down, 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 so you get it, okay? Come back, give them another friend, maybe right there. And same thing, you just touch using the side and just, and I kind of just don't like that, but so I'll fix it. There you go. See? Come in, maybe another one right there. Tap, tap. Just using the side and then kind of just zigzagging, I guess. Load up. Maybe we'll do another one like that. Come in, tap. There we go. One side's usually better than the other. And you just come in and you just tap them away. Come in. Let's go ahead and get maybe another one that way. And same thing. Touch, touch. Just like that. Maybe a couple more. Maybe another one. Maybe, whoop, there we go. And tap, 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 tap. And then, and make sure this is dark. There we go. All the way down. It's a little bit darker right there. There. So you got nice little range working, okay? Let's go ahead and put that down. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use, I'll just use this 2-inch brush, it's fine. And I'm gonna go ahead and start to just add some, go into my Sap Green, maybe a touch of this color that we made. There we go. And just come in, maybe a little bit, a little bit darker. And just come in like so. And we're just gonna start to tap. Like so, okay? Just start to kind of tap in, okay? And give me 1 second. Let me put these brushes down for just a second and get myself just a drip. Just a little drip. I always get a little bit too much. Just a little drip of your paint thinner, okay? And a little bit more of that Sap Green. We can always go back and highlight. All right, there we go. Go like that. And you're just gonna come in and just tap, okay? There we go. And we'll just come in and just start to tap. There we go. There. Oop, see, a little too thick. I'm going to go ahead and just thin that out slightly. There we go. And same thing, just come in. And that's it. There we go. There we go. And we'll just keep tapping, tapping. There we go. Let me put this down. I'm going to try my little 1-inch brush. That should work. Go with this. Grab a little bit. There we go. There we go. That's more of what I'm looking for. My Brandon Thomas brushes, which are the green handle brushes, they're great. But for stuff like this, it just pops too much paint out sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and maybe start to do something like that. Now, when I go to highlight, I'm going to probably go right back to using that Brandon Thomas brush because it's great for getting stuff to kind of pop out. And we're just going to keep tapping that in there. Get a little bit more of that paint thinner. Got a lot of thick paint, I guess. There we go. And I'm just going to come in there. See? Comes right off now. I'm going to go into some of my Indian yellow and my yellow ochre, and I'll start to tap in a little bit more over here. There. Just trying to get a little bit darker there. Remember, the highlight's more this way, okay? So you just come in and just, there you go. And just keep tapping it, tapping it, tapping it in there. There we go. So as we're getting closer, I kind of want this to start to bush up a little bit. There we go. And just keep going, going, going. There. I'm going to go into a little bit of my Indian yellow. Get some of that in there. There. Right back into my cadmium yellow light. There we go. And same thing here. There. Oop, little hair. Pop that off. Pop that off. So now I want the texture, a little bit more texture up close, as you can see, probably right there. And then I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to go ahead and just, there. So you got all this different texture and stuff going on, okay? I'm going to go ahead and highlight. Actually, let me go ahead and put in a couple more trees and then go back and start highlighting. So I'm going to go into my dark paint here. Make sure you get a nice good amount. Nice good amount. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and put a nice big old tree right there. And I am on an angle, so hopefully it's not going to come out too crooked, and I apologize if my neck is in your way. But remember, tap, tap, and then just start working those arms out. If you do need to reload, reload. Got a lot of paint under here. Got a lot of paint under there. There we go. And you just come on down. There we go. There we go. Maybe a couple little arms that stick out a little bit there. And then I'm going to go ahead and get another one right here. Maybe right there. There we go. And then same thing, just tap, tap, tap. Oops, there we go. So you always one side's a little bit better for some reason. That's just how it is. Not sure why that is, but it's just how it is. There we go. You got something like that. And maybe one more. Maybe one more right here. Maybe right there. Maybe right here. Sorry. I kind of like my little mountain there, so I don't want to overdo it there. And tap, tap. All right. There we go. All the way down. Boom. And you know what? Maybe a nice big one right here. Maybe a nice big one. Give me a second. Maybe one right. Oh, there we go. Right there. Maybe one right there. And same thing. Just come in, touch, touch. And that's it. Just start. Remember, there's a lot of paint right there, so you're going to have a little bit of issue maybe getting this stick. So you just go ahead, get yourself another little drip. Always a drip. If you too much, you see it, how it's splatting right there? Because I put a little bit too much, okay? A drip. That's all you need. Just the drip. There. Oop, dropping. Always dropping stuff, banging stuff. I'm all thumbs when I paint, I swear. All thumbs. There we go. And now I'm just going to fix this. Remember, this is just your shadow. So you are going to have to highlight it, and then things will really start to pop out a little bit more. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just put that down. I'm going to grab myself a nice little liner brush. And I'm going to go into some white and right into some burnt umber. So some white and some burnt umber. And I'm just going to come in and there you go. And go right back in, white and burnt umber. And I'm going to make this one right here the front one. So we'll go here. And then there. And one more. Right there. All right. Clean that guy off. And I'm just going to use my palette knife real quick. And I just want to scratch in a couple of scratches. And yeah, something like that. And I'll do the same thing. Why not? Right there. Just a couple of little scratches. Maybe something. A couple here, there. Just so it gives you a little bit more definition. Tell there's stuff there. There we go. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get this awesomeness highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and use a fan brush. I'll just dip into some of my medium. I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to grab some of my Phthalo Green and some black. Maybe a little bit of sap. I just want a nice dark kind of pine green color. I don't want it to be too over highlighted because we'll go back and we're going to pop in some extra highlights. So There we go. It's a nice color. Okay, so we're gonna do, this is gonna be our mid-tone, and we'll go back and try to highlight also with a lighter color, okay? So I'm gonna come in and touch, and I want that just a, I want that a tad bit darker, so I'm gonna add a little bit of black. A little bit of black. Let me get some of that there. All right, now come in, there we go. A little bit better. Now tap, 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 tap that way, tap, tap, tap that way. There we go. Just tap, 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 tap. There we go. Remember, this is going to be more of your mid-tone, so we are going to go back and highlight it a little bit more. But I like to do, kind of like this style. It's fun. I mean, there's all different ways you can do your pine trees. I've done them all different ways. So tap, 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 down to shadow. All right, and then over here, same thing. Just tap, tap. There we go. Same thing. And same thing, that way, that way. Keep loading up. And down to shadow, okay? And we're gonna do this one here, tap, tap. And same thing, sorry if my head's in your way. I'm always on an angle because of the camera. Here. And then down to shadow, and then a couple right here. There we go. All right, and now I'm gonna just wipe this off real quick. I'm gonna go right into, dip into my white medium. And I'm gonna come over here, grab that. Get a nice yellow. Get a little bit more. All right, trying to get all this white. There we go. Now I'm just going to come in and just highlight on the right side here, there. Tap, tap, tap. There. Just here, there on the right side. There. There you go. And that's it. And then maybe one more. Just one more. There. And then outside, same thing. The right side. Remember, the light's coming from this direction, okay? So, tap. Same thing. Just a little bit here, there. Just a little bit here, there. Here. You just there. And then a couple over here. And then a couple right over here. There. Beautiful, huh? And maybe just a little bit here. Just a tiny little bit, because I really wanted to keep that really dark back there. So there we go. Just so we know that we have some stuff. Maybe. There. Done. I'm not going to highlight anymore. I think that's good. Maybe just try to. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use that 2-inch brush. I'm going to go ahead, grab the last little bit of this white, or the yellow. I'm going to come right in here. Grab some of this white. And you know what? Just a touch. I mean, a little touch. I don't know if you can see it, just a touch. Just get of that white, okay? And come in and do that. You gotta load up both sides and then, okay? And we're gonna come in and just here, there, there. There you go. Be right here. Told you, this thing's great for highlights like this. Told you, really good. Really good. There. Just something like that. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Maybe just a little bit here, there. There we go. Maybe right here. And maybe we'll have something just pop off right there. Let me take a look. I think that's pretty cool. Let me go ahead. Just want a little bit of dark. Just a little bit of that dark. I'm going to use some of that color. Just a little bit. Kind of brings, yeah, it just pops everything out a little bit better. Kind of why I like it. But I like these different little things, but I do want a little bit of just something like that. Just something like that. Maybe bigger, maybe a little bit darker this way. Just a little bit darker. There you go. I think that's pretty cool. And I'll come back with just a little bit more of some highlight here. I'm going to go a little bit more white. And just using some straight white. Pretty much straight white. A little bit of that yellow in there just to get there. Maybe just a little bit over here. There we go. Pretty cool. All right. All right. And I think with that, I'm going to take a quick look. Kind of liking it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a liner brush. I'm going to dip into my paint thinner. I'm going to dip in that paint thinner. And I'm going to go right into, I'm just going to go into some black. And I'm going to come right over here. And I'll just sign my name. I hope this was a good painting for you. It was always fun to do mountains. And there we go. You make sure that paint's thin. You should be able to sign your name. There we go. And that's the most important thing. Make sure you get that signature on there. Make sure you get that signature on there. And until next time, as always, I want to wish you the best out there. This world can be a little bit rough, so you stay safe. And until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.